Last year, I had the honor and the privilege of leading the search committee to find our head of school. I worked with a devoted, mission-focused team who took their jobs very seriously. We wanted to find the best person to head our school. We hired a search firm and we interviewed people from all over the country. And what did we learn? We learned two things. One, Lawrence School is leading the way for students who learn differently. Our faculty, our staff, and our programs are paving the way for schools throughout the country. Candidates were so impressed by what they saw here at Lawrence School that they were excited to take back what they learned to their own schools. What an ideal place for a school to be. The second thing we learned is that the best head of school for Lawrence was right here in our very own backyard. Mr. Hamilton came to Lawrence after completing graduate school 28 years ago. He has been a teacher, a coach, and our admissions director. His experience, his wisdom, and his utter commitment for every person in this room makes him the ideal leader to guide us forward. As a board of trustees, we could not be more excited about his leadership. I also want to acknowledge that Mr. Hamilton could not lead us without the courage and hard work of all of you. Our true north at Lawrence is our students. You all guide us. I also want to recognize the commitment and the devotion of our faculty and our staff. A leader cannot lead without a strong team. You are the ultimate A-team. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, please stand up and give yourselves a big round of applause. Together, you have made our school what it is today. Thank you. As part of our celebration, Mr. Hamilton, we gathered words of encouragement from our students. Please welcome sixth graders, Olivia Healy and Mason Dawkins.
Mr. Hamilton, Lawrence School students have put together a jar of mints for you. Every time you feel like you need a little encouragement, pull it out and read it. We hope you enjoy all of our advice. Now, Mr. Hamilton, can you please come up?
Thank you, Olivia and Mason. I would now like to introduce two seniors who will share words of wisdom. Please welcome Ben Muntz and Trinity Offit-Decker.
Good morning, Lawrence. Good morning, Lawrence School family. My name is Trinity Offit-Decker, and I'm the senior class president for 2018 and 2019.
Hello, my name is Ben Muntz, and I am the student council president for 2018-2019.
We are honored to stand here this morning to take part in this ceremony to officially install our new head of school, Mr. Douglas Hamilton.
In preparation for this momentous occasion, we asked the upper school students to share with us either one word or one short phrase to help Mr. Hamilton on his journey as the new head of school. Here are some of what our fellow students had to say.
Good luck. Stay strong. You are your worst critic. Thrive. Always believe in yourself. I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious. Albert Einstein. Never let anyone dull your sparkle. Don't ask why. Ask why not. Paint in some happy little trees.
Do not throw away your shot. Excellence is not being the best. It is doing your best. Be inspiring. Inspire, strive for greatness. Life's short. Live it up to the fullest. Be the inspiration your younger self wanted you to be. Never give up. The hardest person to be is yourself, but do it anyways. Be kind. Mr. Hamilton is proud, happy, and amazing at what he does.
You can do it. Mr. Hamilton is a man who puts himself in front of others and never gives up. Be strong. Repetition is a path to mastery. Have courage. Remember one thing. No one thinks alike. If we did, then we wouldn't need help. All things are difficult before they're easy. Just be who you are and you will do a good job. Have fun.
Never give up on your dreams. This is easy for you. Talk less, smile more. Good luck. I know you will do great. If you have butterflies, just remember what you told me. I think that you will do a great job as our new head of school. Hope you have a good year. Press on. You encourage others. You got this. Be kind. You will do great. Believe in yourself. Don't let anyone get you down. Go for it.
The lion's roar has returned. Congrats. Be nice and listen. Good luck on the job. Be happy being the head of our school. Always smile and be happy. Just stay on the happy side. All of your life, you are only waiting for this moment to arise. Stay strong. We are all here for you.
On behalf of the entire student body here at the upper school, we present you with this special gift. All of the words and phrases you just heard were submitted by our own students. Those words and phrases, as well as a host of others, have been arranged in this wordle, a puzzle in the shape of a butterfly, reminding you, as you reminded us, that although during your tenure as head of school you may get butterflies, it's all okay. You already have inside of you everything you need to lead this school into the future. We are so happy to have you as our new head of school. Congratulations. Mr. Hamilton, please come up.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Trinity. It is now my great pleasure to introduce Mr. Brad Rogers. Mr. Rogers is the headmaster of the Gow School in Buffalo, New York. He began his career as a teacher right here at Lawrence School. He's known Mr. Hamilton for many years. In fact, it was Mr. Rogers who called Mr. Hamilton 28 years ago to offer him a job here at Lawrence. Please welcome Mr. Brad Rogers.
Doug, with the flowers up here, all the kids are here. You're not that big a deal. It's really a delight to be among you all. So we got the high school up here, right? High schoolers, good. Where's the middle school? Okay, good. Yeah, right on. You guys are doing great. And we got the lower school here. They didn't even give you guys chairs. What's up? You're doing great. You're doing great. Mrs. Ivan asked if I could come and share a couple thoughts, and she said, I'm kind of worried that you're going to talk too long. And I said, don't worry, I will talk too long. What you should worry about is actually what I'm going to say. So it's okay. It's a family show. I'm really touched in the heart that you're here and that I'm here and we get to share this together. But before I do that, I want to give a big shout out to somebody who mentored me and served as my coach and my guider, retired head of school, Mimi Mayer. Mimi, where are you? Mimi, please stand so we can thank you so much. You know, just starting out as a teacher, learning the Lawrence way, the culture, the program, it was people like Mimi that stopped and said, Mr. Rogers, slow down. You can do this. And I thank you so much for all that you've done for me. And other people. By the way, Mr. Rogers, where's Mr. Rogers? Where's he? So there he is. So he's the other Mr. Rogers. I just want to go on record. I was the first Mr. Rogers. He's better looking than me, and I'm so proud of you. You're teaching math, personal finance, some life skills stuff. That's great. Congratulations to you. So I want to share some messages and give some reflections. First to the students. To the students, I just want to tell you how fortunate you are to be at Lawrence. This is a world-class organization, and you're in a school with teachers who get you. You're in a school with students that speak your language. You are set up for success, and congratulations for being here. You make sacrifices. You're coming from long distances. And I get it. Having a language-based learning disability can be a real curse, but you're in an environment here where teachers get you, and you're empowered to learn according to your strengths so that when you go on to college, you can self-advocate. I'll add this to you, and I've been working with students with learning differences for a long time. In fact, I live in a boarding school with 150 kids like you. I live with them. And it's a glorious thing, but it's not always pretty. But when you transition and you go on into university or college or your career, I got news. That whole learning disability, that learning challenge, that ADHD, it's not going away. Own it, know your strengths, manage it, and charge hard to what you love to do. Because when you're 27 years old, you're going to be free. You're not going to be in school. You're going to be doing the things that you love to do, like David Mihalik, a student, where are you, David, who I taught many years ago. It touches my heart that you're here to celebrate Mr. Hamilton. To the faculty and staff, as I said already, this is a world-class organization. You are among the best. Other schools look to you. People move from out of town to have their children come to this school because of you. Congratulations, and you have a leader who will have the passion to give you the tools to be successful so that your students may thrive. I love the Lawrence School because of what it does for the students and for the students' families and for you as teachers to be empowered to pursue your teaching passions. To the parents, to the moms and dads, some of you are here. Congratulations, you worked hard. Hey, this wasn't part of the journey. You didn't plan on this. You didn't, hey, honey, let's get married and maybe we'll have some children and maybe one of them will have bad ADHD or a learning disorder and we'll have to have go to the Lawrence School. That wasn't on the plan, but you're here. Congratulations. You've done the work, moms and dads. Congratulations. There's hope. There's hope in your child's life. Parents, I would just say, trust the professionals that are here. They're the experts. Trust these professionals. To the Board of Trustees, Search Committee Chair, Doug, didn't she do a great job? Wow. She hired the best. To the Board of Trustees, your job as stewards of the mission is to hire, to recruit, and hire the very best head of school, and you've done that. And so your work is not over, trustees. Now it's upon you to nurture and reward your employee, the head of school. So congratulations to that board. So let me wrap up with some advice for Mr. Hamilton. I got some advice. I've been doing this head of school thing for a long time. Good luck. I do have some gifts. I want to tell you a couple things. I'm going to tell you something about Mr. Hamilton, and then I got a gift that aligns with that. Okay, number one, Mr. Hamilton can fix anything. He can fix stuff. And long ago, when we were first teaching together, we bought like fixer-upper houses before that was like popular. And we would like go to each other's homes on the weekends and like install gutters and put in windows and replace hot water tanks. This is before YouTube, so we actually had to read the instructions. And he was really good at acting like he knew what he was doing. So that's a really good skill, head of school. Exude confidence, walk quickly, clipboard, gotta go, thanks, hey, keep, all that stuff. But your job as the school head is to keep things flowing. Gotta keep it flowing. You don't want things to get backed up, to get stuck. And when they do, they're gonna call the last guy, and you're gonna have to sometimes do the dirty work. So I got a gift, wait right there, wait. I'm gonna need this, brother. Come on down. We're not done. So, that man, he can fix anything. And I just want to add, I want to tell Rebecca Hamilton and your children and your parents what a great job you've done raising this man. When I first met him, he wasn't putting the napkin on his lap, and he's got the big boy suit on. He looks great. You're doing great. So if that thing doesn't work, you got to have the right tools. Mr. Hamilton has the right tools. If the plunger doesn't work, go to your next tool. The hammer. Kids won't listen. You got the hammer. And I know you're not worried about the kids not listening. It's the employees. Sorry, I'm speaking the truth. All right. So he can fix anything. And he'll be here. He will be here early. He will be here late. He will be here to greet you. He is the charismatic adult in your lives here, showing other teachers how to be the charismatic adult in your lives so that you may thrive. Mr. Hamilton, number 2, he's a really good fisherman. Loves to fish. He's so good at it that he's figured out how to go to northern Ontario where his cell phone doesn't work. When his friends are calling him to check in and he doesn't return phone calls for like 5 days, he'll just say, sorry, I was fishing. So, trustees, remember I said your job is to attract, hire, retain, and reward your head of school. Give the man a fishing trip. Just go ahead at the end of the first year, send him on a little 4-day fishing trip. He loves to fish. He's a great fisherman. And last thing I'll tell you about Mr. Hamilton that I know, he's a really good dancer. He's got that down. And when you hear that thumping going, maybe it's late, he's had a hard day at work, you might hear it. You might just peek in that window, he might be in there dancing. And every good dancer is a sharp dresser. Sharp dresser. And so I bought for you some very specific neckwear, some ties that I want to tell you about. When Mr. Hamilton was first teaching, Jane, I know I'm probably going over. I know I'm going over, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm almost done. We had a student together when Mr. Hamilton first started teaching, like before the internet. We had chalk. There were no smart boards. There were no computers. Like old school. We shared a student. His name was Joe Burns. Joe Burns, he lived in Brook Park. And Joe's a sharp dresser. Back then, we made the students wear ties. I know. You want them back. Oh, maybe he's going to bring that back. So, Joe was in math class. And his teacher was Mr. Hamilton, and he came to see me. He's like in 3rd grade. And Mr. Hamilton wasn't quite sure about teaching 3rd grade math. He goes, I don't know, I'm a phys ed teacher, I don't know about this. I'm like, relax, it's 3rd grade, you got this. Joe came into my office, he said, Mr. Rogers, math is too hard. Math's too hard. You got to get me in another class. It's way over my head. Mr. Hamilton, he's too tall. Teaching, I just don't get it. Come on, Joe, let's work it out. And Joe wore these really great ties. They were clip-on ties, remember? And he sometimes would forget his ties and we'd leave them. And after school, if he left his tie, every once in a while, Mr. Hamilton would put on Joe Burns' little clippy tie. It was like right here. And then you know what, the kids are gone, it was a long day, and he'd start dancing a little bit. The clip-on tie. So now that you're head of school, I got you some big boy ties, one for each day of the week. So come on up, I'm gonna hand them to you. Got the come on. It's okay. We got the Monday tie. Because he's ready. Go ahead and put that on there. Got the Monday tie. You know, Monday's the first day of the week. You got the Monday tie, you're ready to go. You know, you watch the Browns get a win, right on. Yep, then you got the Tuesday tie. Tuesday's like the best day of the week. You get the most done on Tuesday, right? Because Tuesday's like, it's not Wednesday, it's getting some work. Then you got the Wednesday tie. And then you got the Thursday tie. Yep, and you got, and I expect you to wear these.
Oh, yeah. Good.
And then you got the Friday tie. Friday was a good day back in the Lawrence days. You guys still do pizza day on Friday? Oh, I started that. Yeah. Right on. You got the Friday tie. There it is. But wait, there's more. There's a Saturday tie. See, Mr. Hamilton, now that you're the head of school, you're going to work Saturdays also. Because it's the only day you can come to school and people aren't knocking on your door. You can do all the dancing you want in your office. And we're going to let them not wear a tie on Sunday. But this one's special because it's your green. It's the Lawrence green. So there's your ties. You're going to wear that on Saturday. I would just close with this thought. You have an incredibly outstanding teacher, leader, and person helping you all. He's here to help you, and he knows that, and he will do that. Let him in your heart. Teachers, he's your guider, and he's going to have to make hard decisions, and I'll just end with this thought. And he knows this. Hard decisions. It's good to be popular, but it's better to be right, and I know you will do that. Congratulations. Thank you all.
Thank you, Brad Rogers. It is now my absolute pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Nat Leonard. Mr. Nat Leonard for the formal installation of Mr. Doug Hamilton for our head of school. Mr. Leonard is the president of our Board of Trustees, and his daughter, Sarah, graduated from Lawrence in 2015. Please welcome Nat Leonard.
Good morning. I'm here because I'm Mr. Hamilton's, Doug's boss. How many people here would like to be Doug's boss? Yeah, there's a lot of people. Yeah, she already has, yeah, I'm the second boss, I apologize. I've learned a couple things that I'm going to use. The good news is Mr. Hamilton and I are in the process of finalizing his objectives for the next couple of years. So the first thing I learned is actually the courtesy of Ben and Trinity, and that list you went through. I was at the football game last night. It's the Browns football game. And I was that's right, we won, if you didn't know. And I was listening to the list of characteristics that you think Mr. Hamilton has or needs to have or remember. Aggressiveness, being good with people, not getting down on yourself, never worrying when you're behind. I thought the two of you were talking about Baker Mayfield, but I guess it's Mr. Hamilton. Doug, come on up. I'm going to give Mr. Hamilton yet another gift. And this gift goes back to something that hopefully everybody here, students, faculty, staff, and parents have seen around the school and on the walls. There's actually not one in here, which we need to work on. The compass. We use a compass in many different ways in Lawrence, in this institution. And the idea is there's four activities, there's four initiatives, there's four areas that we need to be really good at. We need to be great with the kids. We need to be great with the faculty and the staff that develop the programs and teach the kids. We need to work in the community so we can play the role that Brad talked about in his thoughts. And we need to make sure that this institution is strong for a long time. We were looking for somebody who could make sure that we built this compass, we kept it strong, and we took those 4 areas of focus, and we were effective. And we made sure that when this is going to scare you, when you are parents and you have kids, that we're just as good, if not even better, than we are today. And we're thrilled, as Mrs. Kaufman talked about, to have found the person to lead the further development and the execution and the protection of this compass right within our 4 walls. And that's Mr. Hamilton. So in respect of that, we're going to give Doug a compass. And what it says on the front is Douglas W. Hamilton. What's W, by the way? Wilson. Okay, that's good. It's nothing weird. Good job, Mom and Dad. Head of school. It's not in the script, I apologize. And then it's an actual compass that works, and then it says, may you always find our true north. Two things about that. It's not your, it's our. Because as Brad talked about, Doug's now all of our leader. And one of the toughest parts of his job is to make the tough decisions that are good for the entire institution. And they may not always be easy. They may not always be what he wants to do personally. The other phrase that's really interesting in this is true north. If you know anything about compasses, and I sail a lot, so I know a lot about compasses, is there's a difference between magnetic north and true north. And if you don't know that difference, you end up on the rocks. Doug's job is to make sure that Lawrence does not end up on the rocks. So that reference to true north is really, really important. So I'm going to put this around your neck, and with that, by the powers vested in me by the Cleveland Browns, the state of Ohio, and all of you, I name you our head of school.
We'll dance later, okay? All right. There's a few things that I want to talk about. And first, one of the things, remember when we all started the school year and I told you a little thing about butterflies? I have real butterflies right now. They're kind of fluttering inside, so I'll try to do the best I can, okay? So thank you, Nat, Jennifer, search committee, and the entire Lawrence School community for this opportunity. I'm sorry, I have to move this up because Brad Rogers was up here. Again, I'm humbled and grateful for your encouragement, support, and confidence. And again, yes, I do have some butterflies while we're up here. This 28-year story would never have been possible without my own support group. Brad Rogers, with whom you just heard from, Mimi Mayer, who again was our former head of school, but also the visionary for this upper school campus, the one that we're sitting in right now. Dave Mihalik. Dave, please stand up real quick so everybody can see just how tall you are. Okay. Yeah, Dave was this tall in 8th grade. He was in my first PE class. Guess what sport he liked to play? No, bowling. And a little golf. Thank you, Dave, for being here and with this. A colleague of many years, Karen McKeon. Karen, where are you? Please stand up for us, Karen. Karen has been a good friend for many years, but also a good role model as a teacher. My own family who is here. My parents, Dan and Gail Hamilton. My daughters, Tate and Abby. And last but not least, my wife, Rebecca, who is a daily inspiration of kindness, love, and laughter. Thank you. So for the next few minutes, we're going to talk about stories, life stories, and how we can be the author of our very own story. Let me start by telling you my story. I was blessed to start my life in a small town in Minnesota. It was an idyllic place for our kids to grow up. There were trees to climb. There were forests to hike, farms, cornfields to run through. We even had a creek in our front yard where we could go fishing all day long. And Brad is right. I love to fish. I'm a terrible fisherman, but I can tell a heck of a fish story. This place was amazing. It was so much fun that my mom had a hard time getting us kids to come back inside. There were just too many things to explore. Well, that would be until the Minnesota winters would hit. Let me tell you, you don't know cold until you've spent January in Minnesota. If that cold doesn't get you to come inside once in a while, nothing will. I loved where we grew up, except for one thing: school. You see, school interfered with all of my hikes, all of my explorations, and all of my fishing. And I wasn't very good at it. I wasn't very good at school. Eden Prairie was a small school district, so there weren't many kids. In fact, the school was so small that when the year began, all of the first grade students fit into one classroom. And then when they originally broke us out for our reading groups, they asked us to all sit around the room and quiet down. So we did. Then a teacher came by and said, I'm going to come around and I'm going to pin something on your shirt, but I want you to close your eyes. So, okay, I'm going to pin a bird on your shirt. I was like, I like birds. Cool. So we all sat down, and the teacher came by, and they brought by these birds. So when the teacher said, okay, open your eyes, I was super excited to look around. I couldn't wait to see what all my friends got. So I looked around, and there was bluebirds, there were red birds, and there were blackbirds. Okay? So I thought, all right, well, it'd be cool. I didn't even bother to look at what my bird was, but I thought it'd be cool if I had a bluebird, because my friend Eric, he had a bluebird on his shirt. That'd be cool, right? Well, and I thought, well, if I don't get a bluebird, then, maybe a redbird. Redbird's not too bad. They fly around, kind of like a cardinal, state bird of Ohio. My friend JB, he had a redbird, so I thought, all right, redbird. Well, then I looked around and I looked down, and I had this bird, a blackbird. A blackbird? None of my friends had a blackbird on. And I thought, well, this isn't fair. I want to be with Eric and I want to be with JB. Well, at that moment, a teacher came by and said, okay, kids, now we're going to our reading groups, and those of you who have bluebirds, stand up, follow me, and we're going to go to our room. So all the bluebirds walked out. Then somebody came forward and said, okay, kids, if you have a redbird on, stand up and follow me. And all of those kids walked to their room. And then another teacher came by and said, okay, now, if you're a blackbird, stand up, and we're going to go to our room. So we went out the door, turned right, went down the stairs, walked to the end of the hall, walked outside, and we walked into a trailer that said, special education. And that's where I spent my first years of elementary school, as a blackbird. So, as time went on, I was very fortunate enough to have several special teachers who encouraged me to do the best that I could, to try things even if they seemed difficult, who showed me there isn't just one way to do things. You can use a hammer, you can use a plunger, or you can use your cell phone. But they also told me what it means to be a blackbird, and more importantly, what it means to be a bird. My story isn't finished, and neither is yours. Many of you are at the beginning of your story. Others, we might be on chapter 45. But you still aren't done. We can write our own beginning. We can write the middle of our story. And yes, we can write the end of our story if we have the courage to do so. We can even go back and we can make edits to our own story if we dare. Parents, sorry about that. Parents, board, faculty, and staff. It is our job to be the type of community that creates an environment where it's safe to make mistakes, where students are encouraged to try new things, and where limited expectations are never part of a Lion's Day. It is our duty to give our students the knowledge, the tools, and the courage to use them in order to write their own stories. I thank you all for this opportunity. I look forward to leading the school to keep to the true north, and I look forward to the many wonderful Lawrence Lion stories. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Hamilton. It is now my great pleasure to introduce the Lawrence School Choir under the direction of Mrs. Merck and accompanied by Mr. Donnellan.